This video is a completely different perspective about how to approach building confidence in order to advance your business or career. I'm not going to tell you to do some silly power pose in order to hack confidence for a meeting. And as soon as the meeting is over, the confidence completely disappears because you cannot hack your life for the rest of your life. I am certainly not going to tell you how to fake it until you make it. And most importantly, I'm not going to force you to be the loudest, most annoyingly talkative person in the room trying to make everyone impressed with your self-proclaimed brilliance. What I will tell you is how to access the power and the peace that comes with calm confidence that literally emanates and flows from your innermost being. This confidence comes with grace and ease, and you will be relieved because you get to be authentically yourself. Are you ready? Let's do this. This is Keisha, your career and business confidence coach, equipping you to win by owning your inherent brilliance, eliminating your shrinking tendencies so that you will dominate in your field or industry. Click on the subscribe button below and join in on our international internet community. So the most relaxed person in a room will always be the most powerful. Why? Because when you're relaxed, you are more focused. And when you're more focused, you're clear. And you really are able to access your intuitive creativity. You're able to be problem solving, focused. You're able to be innovative. And as I said, you're able to have clarity that does not come with being distracted with the internal chatter of believing that, what if I'm making a mistake? The internal distraction that comes from thinking that I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't belong in this room. Maybe I don't belong in this meeting. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. All these doubting, self-distracting, self-deprecating thoughts that come to our mind really negatively impacts us from operating in our inherent greatness. And first of all, why have we lost this calm anyway? I think there are at least three reasons. There actually are a lot of reasons, but we'll talk about three real quickly today. One is stress, high levels of stress, way too much on our plate, way too much than our soul is actually meant to handle. And so because of the quantity of things that are on our plate, we live a highly distracted and stressful life that affects our internal level of peace. Second is social media and media distraction. There's just so much information coming at us on a daily basis that, it's really hard for us to handle it. And it results in us consistently having this noise of distraction. We're told, or studies show us, that the more time you spend on social media, and I believe all other forms of media, the higher the level of anxiety. And so it takes away our internal calm and peace. But then third is the social narrative. And this is the one that we don't talk about often enough. When we talk about women in particular, but even whatever other category you may fall under, maybe even minority groups or people from other countries or whatever it is, there's a social narrative around who is in the in group, those ones that are expected to succeed and do well. And then the out group, the ones that you're not expected to do as well. Actually, when you do very well, people are surprised. When we talk about the business world, it is a very male-dominated field, not because there is not a lot of women in this field, but because historically men have dominated. And what are the level of microaggressions, the negative messages that may be coming at us, telling us that we don't belong in this place, we don't belong to be dominating in a field, we don't necessarily belong to have the authority that we have at the table. And so this video is not focused on all of that. What I want to talk about are 4 ways in which we can get our calm and our peace back in order to be confident naturally. So point number 1 is remembering that not even the boys club has figured it all out. Not even them have it all right. And I say the boys club to reflect the in-group versus the out-group, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It's the people really that have the power and authority. I like to look at people that are in leadership, whether or not it's presidents of countries or CEOs of organizations, and I like to observe them, especially the ones that I have immediate contact with. And I like to look at their flaws, not because it makes me feel like I'm better than them or anything, but it humanizes them. You see, we tend to look at leaders and people that are successful and people that are in authority as people who have it all figured out. They're perfect. They've got it just right. So that's why they're successful. But this is not the fact. This is not true. We all have our flaws and we all have our weaknesses. And so when we actually look at the people that are in leadership, the people that are doing it out there, and we identify the things that they don't do as well. Maybe they don't communicate perfectly. Maybe they use a lot of ums and ahs. Maybe they don't have the right perspective. Maybe they made a mistake. But the reality is that even though they weren't perfect, they were able to succeed. And so it helps me to remember that even despite my imperfections, I can succeed and I can do well. It's not about perfection, it's about making progress and going ahead. So remember that I have an entire blog post, it's not male bashing, that is called Female Leadership, Even the Boys Club Doesn't Have It Right. I'm going to link it to the description below, as well as a link to how to have calm confidence blog posts. I think these two posts will be extremely helpful because they go in a lot more detail than I can go into in this video. The second tip is don't compete, create. When we get stuck in comparison, comparing ourselves to other people that are successful, other people that are doing well, it really negatively affects our confidence. But when I say don't compete, create, I mean the very thing that makes you different. Try to leverage that and access that to make that your most powerful trait that differentiates you. It's the thing that nobody can copy. Like, nobody can copy my accent because it's a mix of everything. I'm living in California, in Connecticut, and obviously I'm originally from Jamaica, so nobody can copy that. So what's unique about you? It may be where you grew up, it may be where you're born, it may be the fact that you're the only female in the industry. Leverage that, use that. Maybe you speak a different language. Maybe you came from upstate New York and you live in New York City. I don't know. I don't know what the differentiator is for you, but it's the very thing, especially that thing that maybe you have been told is the thing that causes you not to be good enough. Flip the script. Why do you have to believe that? Take that very thing that maybe in the past other people have looked down upon, or maybe you yourself have looked down on, and embrace it and use your full authentic story and your authentic self and bring your full self into your business, into your job, into your work. Many people can copy a lot of things about you, but they cannot copy your original self, your true self. And we all have something distinct and unique about us. It may even not be something that is tied to our demographic. It could be the way that we listen intensely to others, the way that we are caring and loving in a business world that is so cutthroat. Utilize that quality and make that your differentiator. So therefore, you don't have to compete with anyone. You create a whole new category for yourself, because everyone cannot, at least no one can imitate authenticity. The third tip for me is the most transformational. It's the thing that has caused me and allowed me to be much more calm and have less stress and less anxiety, and that is meditation and breathing. It is incorporating the practices of calm, which I call stillness, meditation, deep breathing. Those are the three main things that I've found to be extremely effective at developing calm, settled confidence. Why? Because these practices allow us to retrain our brains and our nervous system to slow down, to take us out of flight and fight mode and put us into rest and digest. 90% of our lives, almost 100% of our lives, I believe, we are consistently in stress mode. We are consistently practicing how to be anxious and anxiety by the pace at which we run in life, how can we really be calmly confident when we haven't practiced calm? And so I would recommend, if you haven't started a practice of meditation, to really take the time, even 5 minutes a day, and build your way up to even 20 minutes in the morning and again at night, to really practice and retrain ourselves to be calm, so that when challenging situations come, we will be able to automatically respond with calmness, because we've been practicing calmness for years. Now, a lot of people get, frustrated sometimes with meditation because they don't see the results immediately. Remember, the results are cumulative. They get greater and greater over time. So start the practice today. I love the meditation app Inside Timer that has thousands of free guided meditations. So I'll put it in the link below. I have also created a free guide to help you to develop the practice of stillness and calmness and powerful confidence practices. And I will put it in the link in the description below. And I think it will be here right on the screen. So go in the link in the description below to get a copy of it. The fourth tip is to focus on the mission. What is the priority for the project that you're working on or what you're doing? If you focus on bringing value, focus on your purpose and the goal, and not get distracted by criticism and negative comments or anything else that will negatively impact how you feel, but focus on your big why, it will be so easy to be confident and not to be swayed and distracted. I've stated this in previous videos before, that a lot of us will fight harder for others than we will for ourselves. And so focusing not on ourselves and our ego and how we look and how we're coming across, so that we're not distracted by people's criticism, and focus more on the value that we're trying to bring. Who are we trying to help? What is a greater goal? How are we trying to contribute to make an area better or somebody else's lives better? If you're in business, a lot of times we are in business to make our customers' lives better. And maybe we won't fight for ourselves, but we will fight harder for someone else. And I know when I'm focused on that level of contribution, there is nothing that anyone can say that will make me doubt myself or fall into low self-esteem, because I know the bigger purpose is not to look good or to impress someone, but it is to make a transformational difference in someone else's life. I want you to identify, what is that goal? What is that purpose that will allow you not to be distracted? The fifth point, I know I said I was going to give 4, but I'm going to throw in a bonus because I love to over deliver. And the fifth point is to listen to other people's advice, but don't be bound to their opinion of you. Great leaders know that we need to be able to have a council of advisors to help us to make decisions. And ultimately, they also know that in the end, it is up to them. They are the expert on their own life. We are the expert on our own lives. And so we have the power to choose what advice we will take and what we will not. And even if we take an advice, we don't have to be bound to a person's opinion or to other people's opinion by us. Just realize this: criticism from external forces are a sign that you are up to something big in the world. People don't say negative things about people who are not doing good things. If you are not relevant, as I've said in a previous video, people won't even talk about you because you're not relevant. And so recognize that criticism and gossip and talking is part of the territory of stepping on center stage and playing big. If you're ready to shrink back and not do anything, then you won't have to worry about negative talk. And so I have made a video talking about how to deal with criticism. I will put it in the bio here, in a link here, as well as another video on how to believe that you are good enough. So I want you to share your comments with me. Which one of these 5 tips resonated the most with you? And don't forget to pick up a free copy of my e-guide, 8 things that business women need to know about creating authentic, unforced confidence. That's all for this week, friends. Know this: I see you and I believe in you. And don't forget, you are not meant to shrink down lower. So rise up and own your power. Have a fantastic week.